Cool, so pretty much took out the other stuff. As we said before, fixed up the dash a little bit. Kind of went through the process of just trying to use the plastic welder. Seemed like it's pretty sturdy. As it is, it doesn't have the actual backing on, so we need to take this whole shell piece out essentially to fix that, but otherwise, no big deal. And then we have the soft top frame, which I have a soft top for this. It's not black, wish it was, but it's all good. It's brown. So I have that in the car, and then I have my original rails, so we can reuse those from my personal car, and then yeah, slap all the stuff back together, hopefully pretty quick internally, but definitely need to get the wiring out the trunk so we can figure out what we're doing with all that. I just need to see what I have and what I don't have. I know he said the front is pretty much missing some of the normal stuff like the horn, things like that. I don't have a horn on the other one, so not really worried about that, but I do have up top my other wiring harness box, which has some of the spare stuff I still have. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, I probably won't have the same wires as I used for my car in order to get the wire tuck to be complete, but I think I only extended like 4 wires in the first place. So, and I'm thinking about doing a coil unplug setup for this. I didn't make a video for that for mine, but let me know if you guys want to see that. Focus on getting everything out of here, clean up a little bit, and then we can focus on getting the transmission and all the previous motor stuff out.
City again, bitch.
Soft top, like I said, this thing is torn apart already, but should be pretty straightforward to pretty much just put everything back to the way it was overall, and then we should be good. Because the other one's in the car, I don't know if I'll have time to fully put this on or take this apart right now, but at least we know what we have from that standpoint. And yeah, I think right now we're just gonna vacuum and try and clean up some of this gunk that's in here as a starting point, just to feel like we have a clean project. So let's start. Actually, I lied. First, we're gonna take this metal bar out so we can actually clean the rest of it and see what else is under here, just to make sure we can see what else is going on. So 2 14s, both sides. Should be it to take the whole dash out based off what I'm seeing, but we'll see if there's anything else. Let's see if we can break it loose. Probably not. All right. We just have the 10s on the sides. Cool, all right. Everything's in there, so let's just take that out and then we should be able to take the whole thing out. So yeah, I guess if you didn't see my last video a long time ago when I did the wire tuck the first time on how to take the dash out and where the bolts are, well, where they used to be anyway. Should be the 2 in the center, besides all the wiring that you gotta take out. And then the 2 10s on the side, and then there's usually one because you have your normal dash. There's that one iffy one that's up at the top in the center, but otherwise it should just be 8 bolts. Yeah, 8 bolts. Not bad. And only one on this side, but 10s are a dime a dozen. Nice. So that should be the last thing. It's probably zip tied or attached to the column, which it looks like it is. So we'll take those out. Then we should be good. I keep forgetting about the column, so keep adding the bolt tally up to 10. Okay, I think that's it. Where's it at? Where's it at? Then we can pull this down. Something else just fell. What could it be? Just my screwdriver. Cool. Nothing major, nothing major. Still going. Should be able to move that down a little bit more, but we'll see. And then we can maneuver this out. And then real quick, I'm gonna take both seats out just so I can get underneath them, and I'll throw them back in because I don't really have room to put it anywhere when my wife's car comes back. So we'll knock this out because she's gonna be off work soon. Yeah, let's knock it out.
City again, bitch.
starting point. Everything cleaned up decent carpet-wise, so always gotta be happy about that. Still need to clean the seats off, but running out of time. The dash is properly destroyed. That's kind of what I expected, so I might find another dash if it's cheap enough. If not, we'll figure it out, a way to put that back together, since we already wasted the time to try and put it back together. But yeah, let me throw these seats back in and then see what else we can get into. And since we need to wire tuck, we're gonna go ahead and pull the front fenders off so we can cut the holes, get all that ready to go. Front's off already, so we gotta do the bottom ones and then do the other side. All right, we got all the fender connections off. This is the last one. Unbolt this. We should be able to pop this open a little bit just to give us a little more room. And good to take this off now. Boom. Not bad. Not bad overall. Got that little hole. It's right there. That needs to be cleaned up a little bit, but other than that, everything else looks pretty good. And total side note, we got another dash, one that's a little bit better. We still have the pad, has this. You can probably get some replacement ones. It has all the wiring, which is the biggest thing. And then it has the crash pad. So, I mean, everything's here compared to the one that I was kind of piecing it back together, which again, track car, so this will work for that, but this is $50, so can't be upset with that at all. So we'll pretty much throw this in the car once we obviously situate all the other stuff that's in the way. And yeah, based off what I saw on Instagram, I asked a question to poll, basically just to see if you guys wanted me to wire tuck it, just like I did mine essentially, and you guys were on board with it, so cool. And then I gotta check the other follow-up question just to see, hang on, let me check that real quick. Live update. You guys were on board with it. People would buy a car that was wire tucked, especially if it's done properly, so we'll go ahead and do that. Yeah, so then we'll drill our holes like we did last time, pretty much take the wiring out of the trunk, put that in, and then go from there. But otherwise, I think, what else did we buy recently? Crank angle sensor. Needed one, the other motor didn't have one. Last thing I need for the other motor, because I sold the new, to me, 1.6 motor. Forgot to take off the crank pulley, but I had the time belt and everything, so couldn't really do that at the moment. But I'm gonna see if I can get that back from the guy that I sold the motor to, because he doesn't need it, he just needed a block. But if not, there's a couple online. I'll buy another one, go from there. But for now, we're gonna try and focus on getting all this stuff out, mainly the transmission bolts. I think there's like 3 maybe that are in there. So then I can bolt the other motor up to the engine stand. And then from there, should be able to pretty much take this block out. If anybody needs like a spare, any parts from a 1.8 block, let me know, but I assume not. Yeah, so we'll go from there. Get under here and take the transmission out. So we got that out of the way, and then we should have free range to move the motor wherever we need to. I think I'm gonna need motor mounts too. I don't think the other motor had it, and I don't think the 1.8 motor mounts work for 1.6. So maybe they do, maybe they don't. If they do, I'll just use them. If they don't, well, it is what it is. But little things, little things. So let's get it. Onto the car, we're pretty much gonna just drain the transmission to make sure there's absolutely nothing in there. As you can see, something happened under here, but otherwise, yeah, everything under here looks like a 250K Miata. For the most part, frame rails are kind of pushed up in certain areas, but I mean, there's no rust anywhere, which is the most important thing. Anyway, yeah, so we're doing good. We're doing good right now. So we'll pretty much just go ahead and drain this out, see if there's anything even in there, and then start working on taking out what's left of the old transmission and go from there. Pretty much just need to take, for this, drive shaft off from the diff in the back. And then the few mount bolts that are right here for the transmission. Looks like we're missing one as well. But otherwise, I mean, makes it easier to take it out. So let's knock this out real quick. And we got our speed sensor. So if you haven't bolted out your transmission in a long time, or it's the first time doing it, straightforward stuff. The drain plug, which is right there, is a 24. And then these 2 bad boys right there, 17s. You should have a 17 right there too. And then I think your differential is 14s on the other side. So let's get this over with. Got a little in my mouth. Okay, taking the drain plug off. A little bit of metal shavings in there. But overall, it's shifting to gear from what it looks like. So, and if not, I have a spare one in the backyard. So we have parts if we need it. But yeah, now that it's drained, all the fluid looked pretty good in there. Put this back in there, then we can worry about taking the rest of it out. And since we're here and we're taking out transmission fluid, we might as well do the diff fluid since it's the same thing. So we'll just drain this out real quick as well. see what the diff fluid is looking like, and then go from there. I think this is the same 24 mil, but it's 24. I just wasn't on one of those, so let's watch it all come on out. It looks decent. It's dark, but not black, so cool. And this is the differential drain plug. About the same as far as metal shavings that you see on it. Not the end of the world though, but I had a pristine 1.6 diff before that I sold because I just didn't need it. Didn't think I'd buy another car. Here we are. So hopefully this one lasts for a while and then we can just utilize it as is. We're not really trying to go 1.8 diff or anything, really just trying to keep it as it is. Differential transmission and then 1.6 motor. Solid as it is once we get to that point, but for now, let this drain out and get back to business. Okay, we got a drive shaft out. So let me rotate this. Sweet. So drive shaft's out. Now we can focus on getting the rest of the transmission out. And that should be pretty straightforward. Just a few bolts. We got the ones two back here. Those are both 17s, like I said before, two 17s up there. And then that should be it besides the stuff that's on the motor. And then we will essentially just use the jack that we have sitting out there to keep the motor or to keep the transmission where it's at in a happy place. And then, yeah, slowly just back it off. So let's get it. So obviously the exhaust is 1.8 since if I didn't say that before. But yeah, there's some magic going on with all this. Not sure if you can see that. Kind of just twisted up, done the stuff, you know, overall. But yeah, we're gonna get this off there. Everything else is already taken off. All the mounts are fine, but the actual rubber itself is blown out. So we'll get some replacement ones. But yeah, we'll have to do a 1.6 exhaust anyway. So maybe we'll just do our own, who knows? Let's get this thing off, get it out of here, put it on the curb. It's big trash pickup week, and this is the perfect time to get rid of some of the stuff that I don't need. All right, we're making good progress with everything. Wheels off, just to kind of inspect everything overall, see how things are doing. We'll probably throw our blown out case supports on here just to lower the car a little bit, but otherwise, yeah. The front's off, the rears are off. We're just working on getting the rest of the exhaust off, and there's only one bolt that's holding it in for that piece, and we'll basically go underneath. Here, let me show you. Go underneath so we can reach it up this way, and we can get it on there. So should be able to just put this on there, keep rotating until we get it all the way off, and then we'll take the rest of the exhaust off and throw it outside. All right, we got all the exhaust stuff out. We had to cut it out ultimately, but now it's on the ground all the way, and we can get this whole thing thrown in the trash. Big trash pickup week, luckily, so we'll get this thrown in there. Biggest problem was trying to separate those down there, but since we couldn't separate it, we just cut it. So it's 1.8, can't use it anyway, and it looks like it's jerry-rigged, so we'll just make our own again. So far, I like our progress. So we'll get the motor out tomorrow, get the transmission out tomorrow, and then it will be a clean slate, inside and out, and we can start cleaning, spraying, doing all the things to get all this dirt and crap out of here. Almost there. Okay, so got the whole exhaust out. Now we just need to get the top two bolts off and then the starter bolts off, and we should be good to take the transmission out. Let's get it. All right, we got all our bolts off. So now it is time to separate the transmission. Pretty much just gonna try and get underneath it, separate it at the bottom, kind of wiggle it out little bit by little bit until we can fully pull it all the way out. And then we can hopefully take this motor out with ease after that, but we'll see. Transmission's out, baby. So got all the room in there now for all the stuff. I have a short shifter as well for 5-speed, so I'll reuse that. Looks like there's a clutch in there, honestly, but for the most part, I mean, everything looks decent. Still gonna replace this. This still has grease on it, so someone was in here fairly recently, but overall, there is, like I said, a clutch in here. It's orange, which either makes me believe it's like, well, I would assume it's aftermarket ultimately, but we'll see if there's anything that will determine what it is once we get in there, if there's a puck or what, but yeah, so far so good. So working on getting the radiator out, and then I forgot the bottom hose is still hooked up, but always make sure you drain any project you get. Luckily, it sounds like this radiator might hold fluid. We'll see as we fill it up, but hopefully it does. It looks like the only thing that broke off was just this side on for the mounting position. So we'll just have to re-weld that back on, and then hopefully it'll hold itself together. So see how it goes. Let's get this drained and pulled out, so then we can hopefully get this motor out. All right, so tried to use this to pull it out, but there's really nowhere to mount anything or to grasp anything with the change, unfortunately. So we're pretty much just gonna take the motor mounts out as is, try and slide it backwards if we can, and then just tilt it sideways and get it out. But let's see how well this goes. It's already got coolant in it, so I'm sure it's gonna spill literally everywhere, but let's see how far we get. All right, motor mounts are out completely on both sides. So now it's just sitting on the jack stand or the jack itself. So I'm hoping we can just slowly walk it backwards, lower it. If it'll let me go back far enough, just depends on the tunnel. If not, we'll kind of angle it a little bit and yeah, figure it out like we always do. So, but I'm glad that the radiator so far seems like it's doing okay. So, and the fans, I assume will probably be okay with that too. Everything is decently fresh, so makes me a happy camper. All right, let's try it again.
Zeteo again, bitch.
Go! A motor, but it has no head. Let's do it by hand. Lift it up, baby.